I know how hard it could be when you build your first casino affiliate website and you launch your website and 1 day goes by, 2 days goes by, a week or 2 weeks go by, and you see absolutely no traffic. You don't see any impressions in your Google Search Console, and your website might not even show up in the search results. And like I mentioned, I know how it feels. I've been there, but I can also tell you that a lot of the things that you are experiencing is not unique, and it's very common to have these doubts. So that's why I created this video that can help you hopefully ease your worries a bit, but also helps you with some kind of actionable steps that you can take in case that there is something that you might have overlooked when you created your website, stuff that might help you fix potential issues, and also obviously stuff that can help you when you launch a second website, because that's usually how it goes, right? We don't only, marry one website. It's very beneficial to, after you've created a website, to maybe consider launching a second website where you can implement all of the changes and the things that you learned building the first one. At least that's how I've been doing. So my name is Adam. I've been working with casino affiliate marketing for 8 years, and I've been building a lot of websites. I've been building a lot of really, really bad websites, and I've also been building some quite successful websites that has managed to gather quite a lot of traffic. So I feel like I'm in a position where I can help you with some guiders and pointers. Also keep in mind that with SEO, everything is very subjective. Everything I say in this video, obviously some of it is based on facts, but also some of it might be based on my opinion. I see it sometimes as going to the gym. There's going to be equal amount of users as there's going to be, methods. Some might say that it's better to do, 10 reps of something, while someone else says it's better to do 5 reps of something to build muscles. And it's the same thing with SEO. Some people might say that this is the way to rank a website. Some other people say, no, this is the way to rank a website. And in this video, I talk about my own subjective opinions, but I'm also, adding some data-driven information that I've found. So yeah, stick around for this whole video. I've divided it into 3 parts to make it a bit easier for me to talk about and also for you to maybe understand. So here we are, reasons you're not ranking. Keep in mind that here I'm talking about reasons your website is not ranking at all, or reasons one of your pages is not ranking. But usually it's good to take one step back and have a look at the big picture. So that's why I'm going to talk about this kind of interchangeably, like if it's your whole website or if it's just like one of your pages. And the first thing is to have patience, because that's the thing I've noticed the most, especially now because I've been coaching people for quite some time when it comes to casino affiliate marketing and creating their first website. Some people come to me and say, hey Adam, I launched my website yesterday. I followed your complete course and I see no traffic at all. I cannot even find myself in the search results. And then I say that you have to have patience, because SEO, it is a long-term strategy, and immediate results is very rare, and that is due to the complexity of the algorithms and obviously the competition. And we are in a very high competitive niche in the online casino industry. So obviously that is also going to add on top of the time it's going to take you to rank. If you were to rank for something with way less competition, it might be faster, but we don't really have to think about that. We don't really want to think about, obstacles. We want to think positively. And I also wrote here that this is a good thing, and I do believe that this is a good thing because, for one, Google is making sure that the websites that are ranking are of high quality, to make sure that people that are trying to manipulate the search engine is outrank the people like us that is actually doing the hard work when it comes to SEO. So that is a good thing. They're trying to gatekeep a lot of these websites with these bad practices that are trying to outrank people with, bad practices. So I think this is a good thing. The second reason I think this is a good thing is because this is going to make a lot of people want to quit, and it's also going to make a lot of people quit. That means that the competition is going to go down, because you and me, you are watching this video, and I've been doing this for a long time. We know that this is going to work. We just need to give it time. So that's great, because a lot of people are going to quit and we are going to stay, and the competition is going to be lower. That's great. So how do we fix this? Obviously, we wait. But while we wait, we also have to, maintain the consistent SEO efforts. We have to keep learning. We have to learn new stuff. And also keep in mind that we don't want to change too much during this phase. We don't want to think that we've been doing everything wrong, so we have to change things every day just because we're not ranking. We have to have patience and we have to give it time. But we also have to, understand the performance trends. We have to be able to see in our search console, for example, how the traffic is moving, so we can optimize the things that we already have. So that's the first thing, be patient. And I know that it's not easy because we want immediate results, and that is how we are also kind of, designed, that we want to see things happen fast. But that is not the case with SEO, and that doesn't really matter because we are looking at the horizon. And if it takes 3 months, or if it takes 5 months, or if it takes what matter, because we are here to succeed and we are here to stay. Right? At least that is what we have to tell ourselves, because we cannot be people with the shiny object syndrome. Just because we build a website with casino affiliate marketing and we don't see traffic after 2 weeks, we want to try dropshipping and we want to try something else. That is not going to lead you to success. That is going to make you crash and burn in everything. So we have to be patient and we have to work hard. And some of the more technical reasons, which could be really good to know about. And the first one is crawling blocks. Don't be afraid about these kind of fancy words that I'm using, like crawling and stuff. If you don't know what this means, I actually have another video that I just posted recently that is called I've Gathered Everything in One Video. And here I'm going through a lot of the vocabulary that we are using within casino affiliate marketing and SEO. So I'm talking about like some of these words. So if there's a word that you don't know, just go into this video and it's going to be there in this list. So crawling is basically when you allow Google to access your website. It's not harder than that. And we are letting Google access our website by default because that is how the search engine works. But we also can discourage Google from entering our website by configuring our robots text file that is inside of our website. So an example for this could be that you are working on your website in a staging mode. That whole website or the domain, all of the URLs are inside of the robots text file. And when you launch your website, it basically gets taken out of the robots text files. So there's different ways we can see if we have configured. And the first thing we should do is that we should go to our WordPress. This is a staging website. So this one is not crawled, not because I have disallowed it. It's because it's in the Cloudways, so it's automatically disavowed. But it works the same way. You go here and you go to, I think it's settings, and you go to writing, I think. No, it's not. You go to settings and you go to general, I think. No, you go to settings and you go to reading. That's where you go. And this one should not be checked out. It should not be like this. This is wrong. It should be this. Because you don't want to discourage the search engines from indexing this website or crawl it. So obviously, like it says here, it's up to search engines to honor this request. So just because it's not like this, you cannot blame Google for not crawling your website. It's still up to them to crawl your website. But at least we cannot have this one checked because then obviously it's not going to work. So that is one thing. And also if you have a website and one of your individual pages is not ranking, you just want to make sure that you're not blocking it. And go to the page. And if you have Yoast SEO, the plugin, you go down to where you usually write your title tags. It's here. You go here and you go down, you press advanced. Allow search engines to show this content as a result. And this one will be yes. And the current default for pages should be yes. Because keep in mind that there are some pages on your website that you don't want to show in the search result. This could be, for example, like author feeds and categories and other stuff like that. And then again, this is also like a personal thing. Some people want everything to be able to be crawled by Google. Some people want to discourage Google to crawl certain pages, but at least this one should be yes. Another tip here is talk to your hosting provider in their customer support and ask them hey, I don't see my website in the search result. Can you check if there's anything blocking the search engines from crawling my website? And then they will be, qualified enough to be able to check this for you very fast. The second one is very similar to this one, and it's indexing issues. So keep in mind that here, Google is able to crawl your website. They have crawled your website, but they have still decided not to show your website in the search results. And the best way to see if our website is showing up in the search results is to go to Google, write site, and your domain name like this, or whatever it might be. So if your website is not indexed, it's going to show like this. Let's do it like this. Then it's going to look like this. Put your domain in here and see if it shows up here. If it shows up here, that's great. If only a few of your pages is showing up here, that means that at least Google can index your website, and they have just decided not to yet. And that is obviously another issue that we have to fix. What you can do also is to go to your Search Console. Looks like this probably. And you sitemap. And you have to make sure your sitemap is working and that Google has discovered of these pages on your website. So for example, here I have 9 posts on this website. I have 85 pages and I have 1 author. So here you can see that Google has successfully found my sitemap. If you don't know what a sitemap is, I also talk about that in the other video. But it's basically just showing Google the structure of our website. They can find your website without having a sitemap or without submitting it. But it's kind of just helps Google crawl your website. So I always do this. I add different sitemaps. You can also only add the sitemap sitemap like this if you want. I just prefer to have 3 different sitemaps. Then you can also go to, and here you can see which pages of your website are indexed and which one is not indexed. And you can also get the reason to why they're not indexed here. And also keep in mind that it doesn't matter if you have pages that are excluded by no index tags, because some of these pages you want to exclude them, like I said before. Some of these things doesn't really matter, but 2 things that you should check is discovered, currently not indexed. And this means that Google has found your website, but they have also found a reason not to index your website. And that is a bad thing. So then you should click here and then you should read what they are saying about your website. And hopefully by the end of this video, if you implement some of the other stuff I talk about, mainly about content, usually this is going to resolve itself. You can also do a validation. Go in and you press validate, and it's going to do another validation. This one you should check, and you should have 0 pages here. This one is the most important one. The second important one is also like this one, crawler currently not indexed, which means that Google has crawled the page and they have not indexed it yet. And this is not a bad thing. They basically just put your pages in queue. So it's not weird to have pages here. These pages are most probably going to get moved inside of your indexed pages. So I look at this one, I look at this one. Obviously, you have the blocked by robot text here. If you go in here and you see like your domain name, and if you see like these huge pages that you just launched here, then that could be an issue. So then I would recommend to you to check the things I talked about before, or go to your hosting provider and ask them if there's any issues. So yeah, that is that. I'm trying to keep kind of a good tempo, but I also want to obviously talk about this stuff. So this is good. Yeah, I forgot to mention that you can also take one of your URLs. You can put it here in inspect and inspect it. And there's a button where you can press that says manual indexing. Obviously, it's not going to automatically index your site, but it's going to put it in like priority queue. So that's something you can do. I'm not going to do it now, but that's an option. You just copy paste the URL in here. Amazing. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Orphaned pages. This is one of the maybe smaller things, but this is good to keep in mind when you're posting new content on your website, because an orphaned page is a page that doesn't have any internal links pointing to it. And Google is finding your new pages by crawling the old ones, and you have a link in your old page to a new one, and that is a way for Google to find new content on your website. Obviously, it's going to get added automatically in the sitemap as well, so that is a way for them to find it. But a good thing to do every time you launch a new page is to either add it in the menu, you can add it in the footer if you want, and also go back to old pages and add like interlinks pointing to your new page. Very simple solution. And if you have a huge website and you want to find all of these orphaned pages, you can just use a tool. I use Ahrefs for this. This is super convenient. Just go to the site health tool, and they have like, yeah, just keep that in mind. Do a lot of interlinking. That is going to help with everything. So that's great. We also can have some rendering issues. If you're using a good quality WordPress theme, you're not going to have these problems. But if you maybe are using a more complex theme, or maybe if you're doing your own coding and stuff, this might be a problem that you can have. To be honest, I've never had these problems, so I don't really know how to solve them. I only know that I'm solving them before they happen by using a good WordPress theme. I'm using GeneratePress. I think it's amazing. And I also use a plugin called Auto Optimize. I think I have it here. Let's see. This plugin is helping a lot with a lot of things that I don't really understand, like, minifying HTML and, inject CSS and aggregating stuff. Yeah, like I said, I don't really understand all of this, but this is a plugin that has been working great for me. It's completely free. So yeah, you just download this one and configure it, and it's going to probably work really great for you. There's also a tool where you can check your rendering issues that I open up here. It's Google's own tool. Let's see where it is. This is Google's own website, and they have a guide here on how to, spot all of this stuff. Obviously, I'm not good at coding and stuff like that, so this would be very hard for me. I would just probably outsource this to someone smarter. But usually this is not an issue, and it's probably a small chance that your website has any of these rendering issues. But I just wanted to include it in the list, because it might be. If you feel like your website has gotten away from you, everything is just like showing, red blinking buttons everywhere, and it seems like it's just about to crash, maybe this is something to check. I was supposed to mention this in the beginning of the video, but this would be a great time for me to tell you that if you are watching this video and you have a website that you've been working on for a long time, and you feel like it's not really working, there's too many issues. Let's say that you're using a pre-built template from a theme provider, and you have a lot of these weird pages everywhere, and your website's loading slow, and you don't really like your website. Sometimes it's really good to just cut your losses on a website and basically start over. I used this example in a meeting the other day that, let's say you want to renovate a house and you just notice that the foundation of the house is like very unstable and you feel like you have to fix stuff all the time. Sometimes it's better to just, tear the whole house down and just build a new house completely. And that could be the same with websites sometimes, that if you feel that you're running into too many errors and too many issues, it could be good to just cut your losses and start over with a new website. Especially if the website is not really making you any money anyway, it doesn't maybe really matter. Obviously, it sucks, maybe, but it's an advice that I hope that someone would have told me when I was working on certain websites for too long, to just cut my losses and start over. So yeah, back to the video. Yeah, so we talked about how to fix this using Auto-Optimize, or how to prevent it. Site speed. People are very obsessed with site speed, and I think it's a good thing. But the reason why we want a website to load fast is because it provides user experience. And user experience is something that Google cares a lot about. So they don't really care too much about your website loading slow. It's not that huge of a deal, but it is important for a user experience for a website to load, fast enough. I don't think that this is going to make or break your website, but you want to have a website where users can actually, enjoy. So they go to the search result and they want to enter your website, and it doesn't really load fast enough, and they are just like impatient. So they go back to the search result and, pick another website. And if this happens enough times, Google is basically going to demote you because they are not providing a good user experience for their visitors, right? So we want to focus on user experience, and obviously site speed is a part of experience. What I've seen with a lot of websites is that people get so obsessed with site speed, they want the website to load in 0.00001 second, which means also that once someone comes to the website, it's basically very blank and they are lazy loading all of the images. So you have to wait for images to show up once you start scrolling. So don't go too overboard with site speed, but there are some few things that we can do with this. We can use Google's own tool called PageSpeed thing. And I already preloaded a website here just to show you that it's important. You basically take your website and put it here. And I did an audit of casino.org the other week, and I went in to see their performance. And as you can see here, that it is not by any means perfect. But it doesn't seem to matter because they are ranking amazingly, and it's one of the biggest casino affiliate websites that there is. So don't go overboard trying to fix all of this stuff and just spend a lot of money fixing this. Sometimes you can feel like you dig yourself into a hole trying to fix all of this stuff, and all of a sudden you're causing more problems than solutions when you're trying to fix all of these like small things. The one thing that I would really focus on when it comes to Core Web Vitals is the CLS. I talk about CLS in my other video as well, but it's a very important metric. And also I would focus on time to first byte. And you can get a good time to first byte if you're using a good hosting provider. So the most important thing when it comes to site speed is to find a good hosting provider. I'm using Cloudways. I'm very happy with Cloudways. They are cheap and they are fast and they are really easy to work with. Their customer support is very fast and amazing. So I use Cloudways. I'm not affiliated with them. I've just been using them for a long time. So if you want a website with nice site speed, it's easy to navigate, and that loads fast, use Cloudways and use GeneratePress. These are the ones I'm using. I see no reason using anything else because this is by far good enough for me. And then I kind of just move on and I work on the more important things, which are, I thought it was the next one, but okay, it's the next one after this. Security issues. Security issues. A very fast one. You need HTTPS. S stands for security. If you don't have this, Google is not going to like you. But every good hosting provider has this built in. Don't get fooled by having to buy a premium SSL protection because it's always free. You don't need to pay for it. If it doesn't show up, just download the plugin Really Simple SSL. I think it's called something else now, actually. Real Simple SSL. It's called Simple and Performance Security. Just search for Really Simple SSL, download it, the plugin, and just click like activate. And it's going to automatically see if you have an encryption available on your website. Otherwise, talk to your hosting provider and they're going to fix this for you. Super easy. But like I said before, the most important thing to focus on is content. So let's talk about content. The first one is, if you have low quality content, that is by far the biggest reason you're not ranking. I promise you that if you're having problem ranking, this is by far the biggest reason. Google say in every Google core update they always say, the best way to improve your ranking is to create consistently high quality content, because that's what the algorithm reward. That is what, people that are using Google wants to find. So don't care about all of the other small stuff. Just focus on the compound things that are moving the needle, and that is content. Google even says that low quality content on some parts of a website can impact the whole site's ranking. This also kind of makes sense. And I'm touching that point a bit again, because if you're launching a website with a lot of thin content pages, where you basically only put up some casinos and no text or anything, Google is not going to like that. So you really should focus on having a website with fewer quality content pages, and you want to work from there. You don't want to create a website with a lot of pages and then start adding the content to the pages, if that makes sense. I talk a lot about content, especially inside of my course, inside of my community. And I have I think that is the biggest part of the course. I talk about SEO, and I talk about on-page optimization, and I talk about content. Because for me, that is the most important thing, and that is what I focus on the most. Obviously, how do we create good content? That is a video in of itself, but we need to either be really good at writing, or we need to be really good at finding someone that can write. Focus on creating high quality, well-researched content that adds value to your audience, and make sure that your website is not full of empty URLs. So yeah, I talk about this all the time, and I don't think that you're surprised seeing this slide here. Next slide, targeting keywords that are too hard. I have a video about this that I talked about. This, the only thing I talked about. And go and watch this video, rank a new website. And this is exactly what I talk about when I mention this. So I'm not going to talk about this more in this video. Go and watch this video, because here I talk about it for 20 minutes. So yeah, stick your ranking tier bracket. That's what I talk about in the other video. Become an expert at keyword research, because that is also very important. So yeah, basically, if you have a completely new website, you cannot rank for best online casino in UK, because that is going to be impossible. You have to be smart, and you become smart by 1, watching this video, and 2, watching more of my videos, and yeah, 3, just keep learning. Another content reason could be that you have thin or duplicate content. And I kind of touched this before. You don't want to have a lot of pages on your website that doesn't really have any content, because Google is not going to like that. They're going to crawl your website, and they're probably not going to bother indexing your pages if it doesn't have any content. So this is even worse than having bad content. Here you don't have any content at all. Don't launch a website without content, and don't publish pages without content. That's basically what I want to say here. And also duplicate content. Usually this is not an issue, because we're not working with e-commerce and product pages and stuff like that. Usually that's a problem there. Duplicate content also, obviously, don't copy someone else's website and content and put it on your website, because that's not going to be liked by Google. Also, don't create multiple pages with the same content on your own website. Also kind of speaks for itself. But yeah, thin or duplicate content. This is another content reason. Then I want to talk about cannibalization. This is also a huge part when you are creating a keyword strategy for a website, because you have to kind of make sure that you're not trying to rank pages that has similar pages or similar keywords, because this can confuse Google from knowing which of these pages that you want to rank. So that's why it's very important to have a silo structure for your website, a site structure, and kind of have a plan about your content and about your keywords. Go through your website and see if you have pages that are very similar to each other, and just consider merging them and making a huge page instead. This might actually be really good for you, because if you find 2 pages with similar content and Google cannot really decide which one to rank, if you all of a sudden put them into one article, Google might figure out that this is the one that you want to rank, and they're going to start ranking you. Don't forget to redirect to the other page, to the new one. That is going to help also. Just make a 301 redirect. You can use the plugin redirection or redirect. Super easy to use. Cannibalization, important. And obviously, we want to prevent this before it happens. So make sure to read up on keyword strategies and making a content plan. I talk about this also inside of my course I have. Let's see if I can show you quickly. Here is the course. So yeah, I think I have it here. Website structure and topic authority, keyword research, and page and article content. I think these 3 videos are huge when it comes to, mapping out the content for your websites and having a really good silo structure. Yeah, back to the video. Search intent and relevance. This is very interesting because this is something that is very hard to kind of notice and kind of hard to understand. At least also for me. Obviously, we understand what user intent is, but it's easier said than done. So for the keywords that we want to rank for, we really need to think, is the person that is searching for these keywords going to be happy with the information that you are presenting them, basically. So don't try to rank for how to find the best casino bonus, and all of a sudden in the text, the only thing you're talking about is what is a casino bonus, and you start explaining casino bonuses instead of actually talking about like how to find the casino bonus. I think that is a really good example. And another thing is that you should not try to mix too many of these search intents on a page. So try to keep the intent of keywords on different pages. So it might be better to have 2 or 3 pages with maybe 1,500 words each than to have one huge page with like 6,000 words, because these are the pages that I think is not going to be as favorable in the eyes of Google anymore, because they are going to match the search intents way too much. So that is that. Try to find relevance within the keywords that you're trying to rank for, and try to, hop in the shoes of the person that is searching for the keywords, and then reread your content, see that you're actually, answering the query or answering the question that they're asking. So this is another thing that you can check on your website and in your content. Another thing that I see a lot is that people are over-optimizing their SEO efforts. Just because you know what a keyword is doesn't mean that you should use your keyword all the time everywhere. Just because you want to rank for best online casino doesn't mean that you should add best online casino in every title and in every text. Because Google is going to understand that you're trying to manipulate the search engines and you're not going to rank at all if you do this. I have a good example of something that you should not do. If you go back to this page here and you see here, first of all, you never need to buy Yoast's premium package because the free one is good enough. You basically only want to use it to change the title things. They have a lot of like suggestions here. Maybe they have become better at, analyzing data nowadays, but usually they want you to over-optimize the website when it comes to, you haven't added a keyword enough times. You have to add the keyword for 6 more times for it to be able to show up in the search result. So be very mindful when you're using tools like this that are going to tell you how much to use your keywords, because according to me, they don't work. They're just going to over-optimize your content. So my tip for you here would be to write very naturally for the user first. Don't stuff your keywords everywhere and focus on creating engaging and informative content. Obviously, it sounds a bit corny, but this is actually true. Be aware of like SEO experts that say you want to find a content writer. They're telling you how good they are with SEO. Be mindful with these people because they tend to write a bit unnaturally. They tend to write for the search engine first and not for the user first. So just try to find someone that really enjoys writing and someone that knows what they're talking about, basically, and just let them write very naturally. Obviously, we need to optimize a bit, but we cannot do it too much. So this is important to not over-optimize. The next one is uniqueness. This is something that I come to realize more and more myself, that if Google is already ranking a lot of pages on a topic, with the same sort of content, why would they also try to rank your page amongst them if the information is already there, Especially if these pages have way more backlinks, they have way more trust and authority, why would they rank your website? So what you should do here is to try to provide unique insights and a fresh perspective in your content to try to stand out a bit from the competition. Obviously, it's great to use competitors and their content as guidelines, because obviously if they rank for something, it's really good to take inspiration from someone else, but also try to make your own content a bit more unique, because this could give Google a reason to include your page amongst the ones that are already ranking, because you're talking about something new, something that the person that is searching for the query might want to know about. And this also comes from having a content writer that actually knows what they're talking about, and obviously being good at keyword research. But yeah, so keep this in mind a bit, that don't just copy someone else's content layout completely and hope to rank for it. Try to find at least a bit of an approach when you write content. Then we have some credibility reasons. And the first one, everyone knows that I talk about this a lot. It's EAT. And EAT stands for expertise, experience, authority, and trust. And this is essentially like a template for how Google actually rates the content quality of websites. And they're looking at your site as a whole. They're looking at the whole topical authority of your website. How good are you at what you're talking about? How much of an expert are you at what you're talking about? How much experience do you have about the things that you're talking about? And all of these things is going to build into the trust that you're sending to Google. And this is even more important when it comes to the YMYL niches, And YMOL stands for Your Money, Your Life. And casino is one of these niches, alongside of loans and finance and medical things. Everything that can, impact you very negatively if the information is wrong. So that's why we need to convince Google that we have all of these criteria, that we have experience and we have expertise. There's a bunch of ways to do this. I cannot talk about it in this video. I do talk about it though in other videos on my YouTube channel, probably a lot of the earlier videos. I don't really find it now. I do talk about it a lot in my course as well. Yeah, I talk about it here. So I have a couple of videos on it here in case this interests you. And keep in mind that this is something that me, myself personally, and very subjectively think is very important. And this is something that I see a lot of people talk about in the SEO space all the time. So yeah, if we can focus on this, if we can make this great, we are going to be successful, hopefully. Next one is backlinks. Backlinks are important. You cannot, skip backlinks completely, because backlinks is basically acting as verifications from other humans or other people that the information on your website is valuable. So this is the perfect chance for you to show Google that other people besides yourself appreciate the content that you're putting on your website. So it's basically just like trust signals. So a low number of quality backlinks can affect us websites' perceived authority in rankings. So what we don't want to do is that we don't want to buy a ton of low quality backlinks just because Adam in a video said that backlinks are important. We want to focus on a fewer selected amount of backlinks from websites that you think that Google is going to appreciate you having a backlink from, if that makes sense. So I talk about backlinks, how to get your backlinks in other videos on the YouTube channel. So don't skip backlinks. Also, don't go overboard. And don't be afraid, because you don't have to buy 40 backlinks for $1,000 each in order to rank. So a small number of relevant backlinks might be enough to signal to Google that your site content is valuable. Another one is domain age. And this ties a bit into, the patient thing. And newer domains may lack the trust and authority of older domains. You need to give your website time to build up this domain age, to build up the trust and authority. So here, there's nothing you can do basically other than producing high quality content and buying more strong backlinks. I know that Google wants to give newer websites the chance of ranking, and it's not like it was before. Only the oldest and the biggest websites were ranking. You can actually outrank some older websites with your content if you manage to fill the search intent better than them. So just because a website has domain age doesn't automatically mean that it's going to outrank everyone else, but it is a ranking factor that is going to play a part in how fast, for example, new pages that you publish is going to get indexed and crawled and ranking. The last one is manual penalties. And this is something that you can get from Google if they feel like you have been violating the guidelines. And this is not at all common. I've never seen this myself, and I haven't really heard about a lot of people getting, manual penalties. But if you want to check this, you can go back to your Search Console. You can go here to Security and Manual Actions. You can go to Manual Actions, and hopefully this is going to say no issue detected. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful. And if you have a website that you feel like you are stuck, you can book a free call with me if you want. There's a link in the description that takes you to a calendar link where you can book a 15-minute free call with me. Usually the calls are way longer than 15 minutes, but it says 15 minutes. And we can go through your website together to see if there's some obvious things that me, myself personally would fix. Other than that, feel free to stay on the YouTube channel and have a look at my other videos. I post here quite frequently, trying to post one video a week. You can also check out the CasinoAffMastery community. That also includes a whole course in how to become a casino affiliate marketer. And the community is growing quite big, so there's a lot of people inside of there. So it's really good to have a place where you can, help each other, hold each other accountable for your progress. And other than that, I have nothing more to add in this video. Leave any questions that you might have in the comment section below. And I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.